hoping that this film is going to be better than this one. So I'm just looking forward. When they put a trailer together and I can give my opinion. Also, Batgirl, they previewed some stuff for the HBO Max show. I didn't even see that trailer. I don't know if there is a trailer. The girl Leslie Grace from In the Heights is playing the lead. Barbara Gordon, who is Jim Gordon's daughter. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to come with that. But the trailer that first trailer I got to see actually was Black Adam, which is a passion project that Dwayne Johnson says that he's had in the works for over a decade. But I guess, Hollywood's like, well, you know what? You made us $1 billion. We're going to let you finally make your little, your passion project. So he went and he premiered and teased the movie. Basically, they showed in the footage, some of the sets and all the stuff. But the footage that we got to see is that an opening scene that included military men discovering Black Adam and the anti-hero basically turning one of them into dust and catching bullets like he was Neo. They're saying that basically this character, this film, this universe has been a gigantic passion project of mine for a very long time. This is what Johnson said. He says it's kind of a project I know comes along once in a lifetime, and he was born to play Black Adam. I mean, he looked pretty good in the footage that I saw, and we also got to see members of the Justice Society, which basically you have Noah Centineo, who was supposed to play He-Man at one point, but I guess that project is dead. He's playing Adam Smasher, Aldous Hodge, who I have been a fan of since Leverage. That was like one of my favorite shows on TV, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He is also in that show with Kevin Bacon on Showtime, which is really good if you haven't seen it. He's playing Hawkman. Quintessa Swindle is playing Cyclone. Marwan Kanzari is also in the cast, and Pierce Brosnan is playing Dr. Fate. So it'll be interesting. Superhero world is pretty much, I've been noticing there's been this ongoing trend of anti-heroes being put in the forefront. So it'll be cool to see how he fares in this film. And from the footage I saw, because I was watching it on my TV, which is in 4K, the footage was kind of grainy. It was hard for me to make out. So I really couldn't get caught into that world and see things for what it was. So it really didn't, it was like, it was okay. So I'm just looking for, okay, once they put it all together and they, they put everything together and everything, then I'll just look forward to whatever they show. Once they get the trailer and everything out there, then I'll give my full opinion. But so far, the footage they showed, it looked okay. It was giving me Mortal Kombat vibes when he goes up the ground and turns people into dust and you see the electricity and all that. So it's like, okay, it was very Mortal Kombat in that sense. But I'm just going to wait until, like I said, I get a trailer to give my full opinion, or just give an opinion based on the trailer. Once I see the movie, then I'll go full out with an opinion. But I just want to see a trailer or something first. And I know you just finished shooting it, so it's going to be a while before we get some stuff. But they had to put something together because it's DC Fandome, and you had to put something together. So, we saw... they basically show some behind the scenes footage and stuff for the Jason Momoa Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, which I heard my girl India Moore has got a part in. I think she's playing a villain. Looking forward to seeing when they put together some stuff like that. But one of the trailers that I'm really excited about, TV series, Peacemaker. John Cena, I've kind of been rooting for him for a long time. I know he's got some spots, his acting is a bit hit and miss depending on what he stars in, or what he pretty much stars in. And the show comes on January 13th on HBO Max, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I was getting kind of those vibes from the Suicide Squad, which I actually like the Suicide Squad, the recent film. And I like John Cena in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to this 8-episode series. And James Gunn is behind it as well, which, I know a lot of somebody bombed at the box office, but I think this show is going to be a hit for John Cena. I could just feel it. And depending on, John Cena is one of those type of actors that, depending on who is directing him or the type of film he's in or TV series he's in, we'll say, they're good at bringing that out of him. And I feel like because he's working with James Gunn knows how to bring the best parts of John Cena out on the big screen. They didn't capture it in that last horrible ass Fast and the Furious movie. The acting in that, the acting from everybody in that fucking film was atrocious. But for this series, I laughed a bit at a lot of the stuff that was in there. I know it was, to be honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with The Boys, and it's giving me that kind of vibe. But I feel like based on this trailer, I'm going to get from Peacemaker what I want to get out of The Boys. I just feel like a lot of the characters in The Boys irritated me. And there were certain things in The Boys that irked my nerve. But overall, I still watch the show. I'm 2 seasons in, look forward to season 3. But overall, it was just giving me that what I wanted from that. So Peacemakers cast includes Danielle Brooks as Abadayo, Jennifer Holland, Amelia Hancourt, Steve Agee as Economist, Freddie Stroma as Vigilante, Chuck Woody Iwuji as Myrn, and Robert Patrick is playing Peacemaker's father, Augie Smith. And there's also an eagle in there that he was like, oh my God, he's hugging me and all this other stuff. So that's like his best friend. And there was some footage in there that like I said, I laughed at. So I'm definitely looking forward to this show. Another film that they showed footage of was The Flash, which is being directed by It and It Chapter 2's Andy Muschietti. And the footage is basically was giving us the trademark visual style, and we got to see 2 Barry Allens. And we also got to hear Michael Keaton's Batman voice in the background. And we also know from the footage that has been going around and, people shooting on the street footage and, showing it on the internet, it's been leaking, that Ben Affleck's Batman does appear in this movie. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing a multiverse of Batmans, a multiverse of Flashes. And, I love, the Batman's Michael Keaton. He was my favorite Batman growing up as a kid. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he brings to this film. And I hope the film is really good. I had mixed feelings on it, especially the second half. So I'm hoping Andy does this film justice. And we also get Supergirl is going to be in this film, which is going to be played by a girl named Sasha Calle. So definitely looking forward to seeing that movie. And based on the trailers, the trailer looks pretty good. I mean, I like Ezra Miller. I heard the stuff about him and hitting the girl in Iceland, all the stuff, notwithstanding. But overall, I liked his version of The Flash. I liked the TV series version with Grant Gustin, and they had that crossover where they met at one point on the TV shows and they played fan service with that. But overall, it was like, but that CW version, I bailed on after season 3. I just y'all just got ridiculous after a while. So I bailed on it. But there's rumors that Jason Momoa is going to may appear in The Flash, especially because they're filming in the same area. They're like next door. They're filming both movies. So who knows? He may appear, may not appear. We'll see when that all happens. But yeah, and I loved all these other Batmans. I like Christian Bale's Batman. The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies. Dark Knight Rises. I had mixed feelings on that. And yeah, so there's all different reiterations of Batman that I love, but I have the feeling that the best Batman I'm going to be absolutely in love with is the upcoming The Batman with Robert Pattinson. After seeing this trailer today, it sealed the deal for me. Now, I remember seeing a teaser a couple of months ago that they showed, and I was excited. It looked really cool. I was like, oh my God, I'm loving this world we're in. It kind of plays still in that Christopher Nolan Bat world that he created, which is dark and grim. But I feel like this really dives deep into this whole comic book world. This is the first time I feel like a comic book come to life on the big screen. And Robert Pattinson's Batman is giving me everything I've wanted out of a Batman franchise, meaning, the brutality of him, the fighting of whether or not he wants to cross that line or whether or not he's going to cross that line and he's trying to toe the line. And you see at some points that every person that he fights is like this with brute force. And then there's even at one point where Catwoman's looking at him like, well, goddamn, I mean, what's your problem? The way he's just beating these people up. And it's like he's trying to find that fine line of self-control, but he goes and he toes the line. So this is basically, I think he's 2 years into being Batman, which I actually like that. I'm sick of origin stories. Origin stories get on my nerves. We know the backstory of Batman. We don't need another movie where where there's an opening sequence of, Bruce Wayne and his parents leaving the theater after watching some opera show and somebody going and robbing them and killing both the parents in front of him. We don't need to see that play out. We've seen it in every freaking Batman movie, so we don't need it. We even saw it in Batfleck's world, so we don't need to see that again. I just put me in a world where it's Batman's already Batman. He's, been doing it for less than 5 years. And he's still trying to find his footing as playing Batman and fighting his demons and trying to fight his way through this whole, Gotham City. Gotham City's got its own personality, which I loved about that. So we see in the trailer, and basically we see the Riddler, played by Paul Dano, inside of a diner, and then he gets taken down by Gotham PD, and we get to see James Gordon. I don't think he's the commissioner yet. I think this is like in these the early stages of being on the police force. So I think that's going to be the moment that he takes this guy down and he winds up becoming, because I'm having a feeling that the actual commissioner is corrupt and under the thumb of Falcone and a bunch of other people, because Falcone is in it, played by what's his name? John Turturro. I was going to say, well, he is Aida Turturro's brother. So, and you've seen them all over TV and stuff. They do a lot of New York movies and a lot of TV shows and stuff. So they're, New York based actors. But yeah, so then seeing that, and then all of a sudden, once he gets arrested, chaos ensues. So we see the question mark inside the coffee cup, and then it's got a lot of David Fincher vibes, and I just love the color palette. It was giving me a lot of that, and I love David Fincher. One of my favorite movies of David Fincher's happens to be Seven. So you get a lot of those vibes and a lot of that element from that film in here, but it's also, Matt Reeves doing what Matt Reeves does best. And it was great to see a lot of my favorite people up in here. Andy Serkis, who recently is coming off a hire directing Venom. He's in it playing Alfred, and he looks really good. But I think this Alfred is who basically trains Batman, because he's got a military background, so I actually like that idea. Zoe Kravitz looks amazing as Catwoman, aka Selena Kyle. I'm liking the dynamic between them, the chemistry, and I like the fact that this film seems very grounded, where we get to see these people feel like they would fit in a real world setting. So I definitely love everything I saw about this trailer. This trailer is perfect. The music was perfect. The color palettes, the lighting, everything about this film has got me even more hyped to see the Batman on the big screen. It comes out in, hold on, because I have it here. When does it come out? One of my friends was telling me basically that March 4th, his birthday is 2 days. I think it comes out 2 days before his birthday. So he's like, this is a birthday gift for myself. So, got what is it? And Colin Farrell as Penguin, he's unrecognizable in that role. And I actually love, my favorite shot is basically when he's driving and he's like, I got you. And then Batman comes, out flying with the Batmobile out of the fire. And then he basically, the car flips over and we're getting this POV shot of the Penguin looking up at Batman as the car's upside down. And you see the flame behind him and the cape is moving in slow motion. He's walking towards the car. It was just a perfect shot. It was just the perfect trailer. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this movie when it comes out. So DC Fandome, y'all definitely did the damn thing in regards to the trailer drops and everything. And I'm actually excited and looking forward to seeing all these movies when they come out. But I'm more excited than anything to see the Batman. That's like my all-time hype machine of what I want to see. So definitely excited about that. Now, moving right along, let's get into my review of Chucky. So I finally got around to seeing it. I watched it a couple of days ago and I wanted to let it marinate before I gave my full opinion. And I have to say that for a series that's on the Sci-Fi Network, as well as I think it's playing on 2 channels. So I think it's Sci-Fi and USA. And what I like about it is like they're going there. They're cursing. You hear the F-bombs a couple of times in the show, and they're not shying away from the blood and the deaths and stuff up in here. And I'm like, damn, network, like cable TV is trying to compete, or basic cable is trying to compete with Netflix and all these other streaming, because streaming services are pretty much kicking cable's ass and network TV's ass when it comes to how they present content to the viewers. And I barely watch network TV now, like, because I just feel like the way that they present television and the way they tell stories via the streaming services and that sort of thing, I feel like my brain just is more satisfied in that direction rather than the way they do network television. Because network television, there's so many rules that they have to abide by, and they're still stuck in this old mentality. It's kind of like the music industry trying to navigate through what Napster did with them. And that's what I get from when I watch network television. They're still trying to find ways, they're trying to compete with how we're going to get that audience and keep that audience who are all going over to streaming services and are abandoning cable and getting rid of TV and stuff. And it's like, It's inevitable. Like people are just gonna go over there, and the way that they tell stories through streaming services, how you just get a bunch 8 episodes and it's all up there and you could just binge it and be done in 2 days. That's the future, basically. That's how our attention spans are working. So with this show, it starts out with this kid by the name of Jake Wheeler, who is 14 years old, and he's had a hard time. His mother passed away in a car crash, and his father, basically, his name was who's Lucas, played by Devon Sawa, and Devon Sawa plays twins. He's playing Lucas, who is Jake's father, and he also plays another guy who is more successful, Logan. He's rich, lives in a nice big house, has an asshole of a son, and his wife is played by Alexa Doig, who I know basically from Jason X. Horrible fucking movie, but it's a movie that I like to sit and watch for certain sequences. Like I love when the girl gets her face cryogenically frozen and he smashes it on the table. That part is, that's always a classic. But so his father, Lucas, basically spends his days drinking and berating Jake for being pretty much a loner and for being gay. So I actually like the fact that with this show, we have a kid who is the lead, is an openly gay teenager, and he's trying to navigate his way through middle school, where he's constantly picked on by his cousin's girlfriend, who irritated the dog. But I love when she got her comeuppance during a scene in the show where Chucky, Jake locks Chucky up in the closet with the teacher, because the teacher was like, okay, just put it in here, because he was gonna sell Chucky, because he winds up buying Chucky at a yard sale for I think like $10. But so then he buys him at a yard sale. I'm trying to remember the example, but I guess that's near here nor there. So he buys him for $10. He basically takes him home. He was gonna basically cut the head off of Chucky and add it to this because his mother was an artist. We discover this throughout the show and he's creating this art piece with a bunch of doll heads on it. So I guess what happens is there's a scene where all the family comes together where it's where you basically have Jake, his father Lucas, and Lucas's brother, the wife, and the son. They all come together at the house, and the kid, I think his name is Junior, he basically goes in on him and starts calling him out for being gay and making little jokes and playing with dolls and this, that, and the other. And it bothers Lucas. So there's one scene in the show where he basically takes a bat to his art project and talks about stop playing with dolls and this, that, and the other. And then Jake goes and says, you know what? I wish it was mom. I mean, wish it was you that in the car that died instead of mom, which then ensues. Chucky hears this, is like, oh, so now I get to play. And then he kills him and electrocutes him because he's barefoot and it turns out to be an accident, they think. But of course, it's Chucky. And there's just a lot that goes on the show that I absolutely loved. That was one of the scenes that I loved, seeing that whole electrocution, the eye, the electricity coming out of the eye as he's being electrocuted with no shoes on because the father's a big old drunk. So the thing I also loved about this show was that, they always had Chucky going around just killing people for the sake of killing people. But in this series, there's a lot of assholes in Hackensack, New Jersey, because that's where it takes place. They call it Hack and Slash, which there's this little black kid by the name of Devin who does a podcast, which is talking about like all the crimes that has happened in Hackensack. And I did like a lot of the Easter eggs where at one point when he's on eBay trying to sell Chucky, because he realizes that the good guy doll is, being a vintage doll goes for $200 and the other, and he's about he needs the money. He's trying to sell Chucky, and then somebody goes and calls, and of course, I know based on the voice, it's Andy, the 6-year-old kid who had Chucky in the original Child's Play. So it's cool that we got to see a lot of the lip service, a lot of the fan service, a lot of a nod back to a lot of the original characters from the show, and it plays as a sequel of sorts to what I believe the second one, because there's going to be a couple of characters from Child's Play 1 and 2, and then of course Jennifer Tilly does make an appearance, because there was a scene, if anybody noticed, when there's a woman in a coat and a scarf with the blonde hair, and she walked past at the the yard sale, that happened to be Tiffany. But so there were like Easter eggs and stuff that was thrown up in there. It's a good show. I definitely recommend it, and how all of a sudden this kid, Chucky becomes this kid's friend and only ally, because when the father dies, he, of course, we see he gets to move in with the uncle, so he gets to live in this lavish, rich house. You sort of realize the grass ain't green on the other side. And then there's secrets. So we find out, okay, so what's the secret of Junior's mother? Because she got on the phone at one point when she goes upstairs. She's like, oh, I'm with the family right now. So is she having an affair? All these things going on. So a lot of people in this town have a lot of secrets, which gives motive for Chucky to go and have like this big carnage fest of a playground for him to go and kill people. Because it seems to be what I love about it is he's going after people who are assholes on the show. He's not just going to killing people for the sake of killing people. There's a reason why he's killing these people. These people are assholes. He doesn't like assholes. And I do like the idea that, you know, that we do get a bit of backstory. And I realized this within the 8 episodes, we're going to get a bit more backstory of Charles Lee Ray and when he was a kid. And there was a scene where there was a woman at the mirror, you know, in the room, sitting at the table, brushing her hair. That gave me Halloween vibes. Like it was Michael about to kill, you know, his sister. So that kind of gave me Halloween vibes when I was looking at that. But yeah, just giving us a background of like, you know, he's always had this psychotic thing since he was a kid. And I believe that was his mother that he was trying to kill. From him. But yeah, so getting a little bit of an origin backstory of Charles Lee Ray and how he became. I love what Don Mancini is doing with the TV show. What I'm curious about, because it is 8 episodes, is that how are they going to, like, if the show is successful, and I heard that the show did really good numbers in the first episode, what are they going to do about a season 2? Like, are you going to move it forward with another season, or are you just going? Is this a one and done? Like, I'm curious if this is going to be, like a limited series, or this is going to be a thing. I also love, I should point out, because I don't want to give too much away. I was like, definitely check out the show. It's on the Sci-Fi Channel if you have it. I did love at the end where they were talking about if you're being bullied. So they did like a little PSA. So if you're a kid who's being bullied, and they gave the information for GLAAD. So if you are a gay kid who's being bullied, definitely reach out to GLAAD, and there'll be somebody that'll, you know, you can reach out to, and they'll help you with that. So I did love that that PSA at the end. So yeah, because I'm like, this is definitely a show if you're an outsider, or if you're even a gay kid who's being picked on and bullied. Definitely a show you should check out. And I felt like it was just different than what we've gotten before. And this is definitely a hero that the gay community could use, because you know what? There's been a lot of bullying going on, a lot of celebrities saying a lot of people having a lot of opinions. You know, I know the Dave Chappelle drama, and you know, we had the baby with his drama and all that other stuff. So yeah, with that being said, it is good to see that there is a horror TV show where there's a positive gay character that you guys can look forward to. So yeah, I got other videos that I'm going to go to. We're going to wrap this one up. I am going to be doing a video on Nicki Minaj and Jesse Nelson, the whole colorism situation, blackfishing, which is a new term to me, but I'm going to give my opinion on that. Also, I got some Tio Diplo. And then I'm also going to be doing a Halloween Kills review. So definitely look forward to seeing those videos. Until next time, I thank you all for listening, and definitely click like, subscribe, and leave your comments on this following video. What was it that you loved about DC Fandome? What are you looking forward to? What you're not looking forward to? Did you like the Chucky TV series? First episode, are you looking forward to seeing the other 7? Let me know. I love you all for watching. Till next time, ciao, darlings.